Hello, welcome to Inner Growth. This is Wendy Rodriguez, and welcome to my healing journey. I am super excited to get started and to speak on a numerous amount of hard topics and share my self-reflection throughout all the adversity I've faced. My intention is to create a community of like-minded people that empower one another to know their greatness and to discover their true strength and identity in this world. I am so grateful to have all of you watching and hungry for change. Thank you for your time. And remember, being free is exactly who you are meant to be. Many blessings. Hi, everyone. This is Inner Growth. Healing is a Journey. I'm Wendy Rodriguez, and this is Addictions Part 1. So what I first want to say is thank you so much for everyone who's subscribed and totally has been watching the videos. That is super, super exciting. This is my third video of series that I'm going to do. And I'm super excited about it because I think it's going really, really well. I am super happy and grateful for all of you watching. Thank you. I appreciate it. I also want to remind everyone that it's super, super great to watch the videos in order because they're specifically structured that way so that everything else makes sense. But yeah, I think that would be the best. Yes. And so we are going to start with addictions. I want to say that as soon as I say that word, I know it sounds like, maybe alcohol abuse or drugs, like all these different types of things. I want to share addictions in a little bit of a different light. And I've definitely had a lot of people in my life that have had addiction problems, but I honestly want to generalize it and say that we all have addictions to some extent or not. I think it's just the matter of how you look at it, I guess. But I want to start just as the other videos, the first 6 videos, I will be reading off of my laptop. So I will read this. Addiction. I believe in being a creator to your life and not a victim. Everything you think about, you manifest, whether you believe it or not. What is addiction to you? Describe it through your experiences. Let's label some addictions that come common for people day by day. The Google definition of this is the fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. The way I like to approach addiction is through the perspective of thought and emotion. We generally become addicted to emotions, whether ours or others. I know that sounds a little out there, but let me give you a quick example of what I think will just really, really help open up your mind to this idea of becoming addicted to your thoughts and your emotions. You know that stress hormones and stress levels give you some sort of high, right? Like maybe not high per se, but it makes you have a full body experience sometimes. When you're stressed out, you either have anxiety, fear, or any type of those emotions, or anger or anything like that. And so once you start the stress hormone, once you switch it on, then during that experience that you're experiencing, it kind of stays more engraved in your head because any experience that you experience with a high elevated emotion just starts becoming engraved in your head, Okay, with saying all of that, let's say that you wake up at 8:30 every day and you go to work and you're in traffic and then you go to work and then you fight with the receptionist and then you come home and you fight with your partner. Let's say that is your life for the last 20 years. And that's just the way it goes. And so your mind, body, and soul start becoming programmed to that same emotion, same feeling. 8:30, I'm gonna wake up. 8:45, I'm gonna definitely be in traffic and be pissed. And then at 3 o'clock, I'm gonna fight with my receptionist. And at 5, I will fight with my partner. And that is just conditioning yourself over and over and over again. So you get stressed out during every single one of those instances, right? Get stressed out a little bit and you're like, fuck, like, you know? So now imagine that you were tired. So you didn't have to go to work. You didn't have to see that like receptionist anymore, any of that. So at 8:30 you wake up, and at 8:45 you're like, wait, why do I feel a sense of like stress, kind of, you know? And then because everything is out of whack right now, like now you just get mad out of anything. Let's say your partner is in the kitchen with you and you're like, why are you even here at like 8:45? Like, why are you awake? And you start like trying to like build a fight with them, not with you consciously knowing, but subconsciously, just like your body now being so programmed. The body is an unconscious mind. And so once you've programmed your mind and your thoughts and your emotions to believe a certain way for a certain amount of time, then your body starts programming that in your cells. So now, whether or not you want to act different, be different, this and that, this is now a programming that your body will do regardless if your mind thinks about those thoughts, if that makes sense. And so then you start becoming addicted to the feeling of stress. So at 8:45, you either have to fight with your partner or go do something to relieve that stress, because all of a sudden at 8:45 and at 3 and at 5, you have this full body stress hormone that's, your body is ready for that stress to happen because it's happened every single time for the last 20 years. And if you don't give it to it, then it will start coming up with like situations that will start outside things to make that same stimulants, to have that same stressor, to have that same feeling and experience and emotion, because at this point you are now addicted to feeling that way. Whether it be horrible, whether or not the stress might be that way, but your body becomes immune to that and it needs it at this point. Stress becomes a narcotic, a type of drug that you need in order to thrive. Have you ever seen or spoken to a very toxic person and you look at their life and they sit and complain and complain and complain and complain, but nothing is really ever done year after year after year after year after year? And you just keep questioning, like, if it's so awful, why are they still there? That makes no sense, no logical sense. If you can think your way out of things, then like life would be so much easier. But once you've programmed yourself unconsciously, subconsciously, to feel a certain way, to act a certain way, once you're conditioned to feel that way, your brain, your thoughts can be so different, but your body's already wired. So it takes a mind, body, and soul connection in order for the change to happen. So you honestly have to become a different person in order for that body to start following the mind again, and not your body following your mind. And so that's just one of the examples. There's many, many, many examples, and I will go further into that a little bit later. Another little bit. Another example of this addiction would be me being addicted to being sick. Which sounds weird, but I will explain in a little bit later. I know that sounds crazy, but I say I believe it more now than ever. I chose that as my identity for so long, and like addicts, your healing journey will be a process, just as getting sober from a substance. You will relapse a couple of times and possibly beat yourself up about it. We commonly try to be perfect right away, instead of using love, compassion, patience, and understanding towards oneself. And that's okay to have slip-ups. You know the path. That's not going to say that it's going to be detours along the way. I have a chiropractor friend who always says, why yourself until you can't why anymore. This means with every addiction, there's a root cause. And asking why will help you get closer to the truth of it, rather than saying, that's just the way I am. This term to me just seems like a cop-out, because in reality, 2 million new red blood cells are forming every second. Your skin is fully replaced in 27 days. You have an entire new body of cells every 7 years, and every 5 to 7 days, your intestinal lining regenerates. My point being that if every second a new cell is forming, doesn't that mean that you are technically different from 1 second ago? So doesn't that mean that the term, "that's just the way I am," can't necessarily be true? So then what is true? And that's when you start digging for the root cause. Why have I become addicted to this thought or emotion? Has it served me? In what ways? Can I let go of this addiction? So what I went ahead and did is I sat and really thought about why I became addicted to being sick. And in the next video, I will definitely go further into that, because I know it just sounds so far-fetched right now. And like, who would want to be addicted to being sick, you know? Again, a really friendly reminder. These are through my eyes, my perspective, just a different shift of light that I would love to shine within your life. Whether or not you vibe with this concept, I think it's just interesting, and hear me out. So these are the whys that I came up with. Why did I become addicted to being sick? Good question. It gave me attention. Why did you want attention? I guess being the youngest, I often felt ignored and maybe not important. Why didn't you feel important? Because my parents never gave me the praise of being good and gave attention to my siblings that were the most reckless. No, gave attention to the siblings that were most reckless. Does that make you sad? Mad? Why? Yes. I never felt validated or that I mattered. Why? Because at the time, I needed other people's approval to feel like I mattered. Why? Because I didn't love myself. Why? Because I would compare myself to others and just see my flaws. Why? Because I was never taught that I was loved by just being alive and that my presence mattered in the world. So the root cause that I saw was I wanted to be seen and to know I mattered because of the lack of love I felt within me. And now that I know the root, I am more aware of loving myself and knowing the truth that I matter in this world, and that we are all blessed to be on earth together at the same time, because we are all interconnected and every soul in this realm is important. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. It honestly, just reading that like kind of brings me back to just the first day that I actually heard that from someone. So about probably a year and a half ago, this was when I started, coming into my own and really accepting just new ideas, things that I thought I would never even do. A year and a half ago, I had told you guys that like I was already at my breaking point, like I just didn't want to anymore, and then it like flipped all of a sudden. And so I do hair for a living, and I have a client. She's so amazing. She's been my client for 8 years or more. And so she honestly saw me as low as I was, and she's like, "Wendy, I want to help you. Like, I don't know what to do, but I just can't see you this way. You're such a light in this world, and you're not living your truth right now, And so then she recommended this lady who is an energy healer. And at first, I was a little bit taken back because I grew up religious, and I felt like if you're not God, if you don't have the power to be God, then I don't even want to hear it. Like, I don't want to mess with that, And in my religion, I definitely had the whole, like, if you go against God, like, hell will happen or Satan will happen, And so I was really nervous, skeptical, but she gave me this number to this lady, and I messaged her. I was desperate at this point, guys. Like, I really was like, there's no point of living. I've tried fucking everything. Like, I'm not cured. This is not happening. Like, you could have told me to drink my urine, and I would have been like, if it fucking cures me, done. Like, drink it. I honestly was totally fine with that. So this lady I messaged her and I said, I told her my story, blah, 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 blah. I am super, super depressed at this point. Can you help me? Is there any way out of this shithole of a mindset that I'm in? And she goes, yes. And she, writes me this whole really, really, really long, inspiring message. But the last part of the message said, Wendy, I believe in miracles and I know that you will be healed. And I think that that's what I needed to hear at that moment, because no one in my condition, in this incurable diagnosis condition, had ever said, girl, their miracles work and miracles are real and you can recover. And that's honestly, it just felt so good hearing it. It felt amazing. I know. A lot of people probably told me, you're going to be fine. Everything's fine. You're going to be fine. I just don't think that I was listening up until I absolutely had to listen in order for shit to change. And I think that it took that one person. That's why I say that whether these videos, if you've heard them before, if you've, I don't care how many people say the same thing over and over again. It just takes that one time, and it just takes that one person, that one instance to really flip a switch in someone's head. And that's seriously all I want to do in someone's life right now, is just flip the switch so that people can become empowered and know that miracles are real. Everything and anything is possible. And I believe that 100%. It makes me want to cry because I did not believe that before. Okay, so I'm going to cut it off here just to give you a little something to look forward to. I will talk to you about my whole experience with this lady in the next video. So go ahead and check it out. And if you want to continue to watch my journey in these videos and everything like that, please subscribe and like my videos. And it would be super, super, super great to continue to just share with everyone my journey. And then if this benefits you, share it with other people. So thank you so much for watching again. And so there'll be another video, Addictions Part 2, and I will share with you my story. Please, 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 please remember that you are unconditionally loved, unconditionally valued, and unconditionally enough by just being you, and don't ever change that. I love you all. Thank you so much for everything.